I just can't do it anymore.
All right, I'm going to go get some coffee, come back. We'll talk about the PlayStation event. I'm going to wait a little bit. Hopefully, some people come in here, leave some comments. And we will start this off in about 5 minutes. So hang out, ask some questions. There are a lot of things I want to talk about, some games that I'm interested in seeing. Hopefully, some franchises that come back. But we'll start off soon. Let me get some coffee. It's early. Fuck, it's early. Ugh. Oh, you know what? Let me just start it up. Let me lower the volume here, make sure it's okay. Oh, you know what? Let me just start it up. Let me lower the volume here, make sure it's okay. Oh, you know what? Let me just... All right, so we're about a day away from the PlayStation event. I am extremely excited. I try not to get too excited because a lot of times when shows like this are announced, people sort of speculate too much, and you're seeing it with this event. You're seeing some people who are, kind of big in the industry, and some people who used to be big in the industry hyping it up, talking about, things that they've seen that are going to blow your mind. And it's hard not to get excited, but I just don't want to be let down, so I'm trying not to get as excited as I'm sure most people are. But there have been a few rumors about past PlayStation games that, I'd be completely on board with getting remakes or remasters. And the first one is the Resistance series. Now, for a long time, I've been saying I don't know why all of these companies are sleeping on their past catalogs, especially Sony. They've got a rich past, a lot of great games, a lot of great series, and there'd be no reason why, the Resistance series in an HD collection wouldn't sell. The first game, the second game, the third game. I read that the rumor is Resistance 1 and Resistance 2, which I'm not sure makes much sense not to have all of the games in the series, and I also read that they would just be the single player, which again, doesn't seem to make much sense, but maybe the single player would be what you'd be paying for, and the multiplayer side of Resistance 1 and Resistance 2 would be free to play. That's possible. That makes sense, actually. Make them free to play. I think that would be the best route to go, especially if you are working on a new Resistance game. Reintroduce the series to people. That would be awesome. I'm really excited about that. I don't know if that's true or not. I'd be blown away if they released that in a package. There's a lot of games, though, that I feel like because of PlayStation Now, they're just not bringing back. They think that, streaming them is enough. The Resistance games are able to be streamed, but I'm just not doing it. I don't know a lot of people that are doing it, but I definitely think that the audience is there for an HD remake or a remaster package for the Resistance series. That would be pretty cool. I'd love it if games like this actually were treated a little bit better. This came out, there was a Jak and Daxter collection, but they really didn't do much to these games other than making them available to be played on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 by default. So I don't think we're going to get anything from Naughty Dog. It would be nice to see Naughty Dog return to their roots, maybe make a game that's less about, topical issues and more about just craziness and fun, like this right here, Jak and Daxter. That would be awesome. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. God of War is going to be there. I know it's going to be there. I'm excited about it. And what's strange is that we already know that it's going to be PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and this is a game that isn't coming out for a while, so, you know, in one sense, I'm a little disappointed that it isn't going to take full advantage of the PlayStation 5, but when you look at things like Horizon Forbidden West, right, we've seen gameplay of that. If you remember, when they first showed the gameplay of Horizon Forbidden West, they did not mention the fact that it was cross-gen, and everyone that watched that was blown away and thought that that was PS5 level graphics. But then when we found out it was cross-generation, those same people were really disappointed. It's not taking advantage of the system. This is crazy. But again, when their games look that good, I'm not that upset that God of War is going to be playable on the PlayStation 4. And I think if the developers are doing that kind of work and it's looking that good on a PlayStation 4, then it's going to look much better on a PlayStation 5. And that's where I really don't have a problem with, I know I'm all over the place with these topics, but the $10 upgrade fee. So everything's going to be $10 from now on after Horizon Forbidden West. If the developer's doing extra work and they're taking full advantage of the PlayStation 5 and not just giving us resolution and frame rate increases, which I think you get by default by getting new hardware, if they're taking advantage of the PlayStation 5's SSD, load times, if they're taking advantage of the DualSense, this is where Sony really thought out the features for the PlayStation 5. It's not just a console that gives you better resolution and frame rate. You're getting a lot of other different things. So for $10, for instance, Ghost of Tsushima, the game not only looks much, much better, but again, there's new content. So paying for DLC isn't something that I wouldn't do. I would do that for any series. I've done it in the past with Xbox first-party games, so not that big a deal for me. And I don't see what the outrage is, especially when you consider what you're getting. Now, you know, paying for PS5 specific features that you should get for free, I'm not sure why you should get them for free. I mean, why should you have DualSense support, haptic feedback? Why should all of that just be free? And again, you're not forced to buy it either. So for me, it's about the content. And if the content continues to be great, then I don't have a problem paying for it. You think back, I'm playing this for a reason. At the time on the PlayStation 2, there was nothing on the market like this. And I would have happily paid whatever they asked to play this kind of game. There was no load times, day-night cycles. I mean, this was really something incredible when it came out. So I'm not too sure where the outrage and the, you know, complaining about paying an extra $10 for an upgrade to take advantage of features that a developer worked on for a specific platform. I'm not too sure that I have a problem with paying somebody for doing work, especially when it's going to give me a lot more enjoyment on a platform that I purchased.
Now meet me down here by the egg.
So Resistance, we talked about that. That would be great. I would love it if franchises would return. I'm not talking about all the PlayStation franchises. Like, you know, there's a ton of franchises. At some point, you would think, you know, hey, you're leaning too much on the past and you're not creating anything new. But I don't think anybody really thinks that PlayStation's going to stop creating games. They've done it every generation. They made new characters and new worlds. For instance, everyone's looking forward to the new Horizon again, and that's a brand new character that was created just last generation. So there's a ton of fans carrying forward to this generation for that. There's a ton of fans carrying forward to this generation for Ghost of Tsushima, whatever Sucker Punch is working on next, which is probably a sequel to that game. People are waiting for that. People are waiting for Spider-Man. And of course, I'm sure they're going to create a brand new character and a brand new world. And that's where I made a video talking about, you know, there were so many games that I thought I wanted to see here, but it got so out of control that I thought about what would be the one game that I would be really excited about seeing again. And it didn't have to be a first-party game or a second-party game or even a third-party game, just anything that in the past really identified PlayStation, even though it was on other consoles. And I came up with Soul Reaver, or any of the Legacy of Kain games in the series. So they've got Blood Omen, Blood Omen 2, and Legacy of Kain. There was a Blood Omen. I think there was Blood Omen. There was a Blood Omen 2, Legacy of Kain. Soul Reaver. There was a Soul Reaver 2 as well. So any of those games would be incredible if they announced that. I'm trying to think of anything else that I would be blown away by from the past for PlayStation. Twisted Metal, I'm not that excited about. I was never really a huge Twisted Metal fan. I liked the game. I liked that there was a single player infused in the game, but it was much more of a sort of co-op experience. And it's hard to sort of identify with a car as a character and a story, something like that. So, apart from, what everyone's talking about, Metal Gear Solid obviously is a third-party game, but it identified with PlayStation. Something else that I thought really identified with PlayStation, but was also third-party, is Tomb Raider. And I know Tomb Raider's done really well as a multi-plat, and when they rebooted the game, it was fantastic. But maybe something with Lara Croft and PlayStation. I think I would love to see something like that built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5. And that's the thing, it's not like the PlayStation 5 is a better system than the Xbox, technically, but whenever you build something with one platform in mind, you can always take advantage of it, push it in ways that you couldn't if it had to be on different platforms. And that's what I like about PlayStation. Their exclusives, they really work hard to take advantage of the system and the features that they created in the generation that they're in. So, again, with this generation, I'm sure all of their new first-party games are going to take advantage of that instantaneous load time with that SSD. Going to take advantage of just the power of the box. Going to take advantage of the DualSense controller. That's stuff that I'm really interested in seeing, apart from just brand new games. I love this game so much. It's coming back to these games, especially Naughty Dog. I love The Last of Us. I wasn't a huge fan. Technically, The Last of Us 2 is brilliant. I think it's an amazing, amazing game technically, and I love playing the game, the actual combat, the stealth. I just wasn't a fan of some of the heavy-handed story in the game. It's fine if you were. I wasn't. Again, I'm more of a light-hearted type of a person, so stuff like this from Naughty Dog, to me, this is just brilliant. Jak and Daxter, this series, if this was to return, and I know it's not, but, I mean, can you imagine how excited fans would be if we saw a next-generation Jak and Daxter with all the humor, the great writing, and just the technical prowess of Naughty Dog behind the game? That would be amazing. I'm not sure, though, if they even want to do stuff like this anymore. But I think that would be so cool if they announced something like that. I think the Resistance game is probably true, and I'm excited about that because, at the time, everyone was looking for a Halo killer, but you really couldn't do that. But Resistance was really unique and really fun. It had a really great story. Alright, that should be enough. It's weird going through this and you remember things from the game, like little moments. Like, I remember there are seagulls up here. When you run through them, Daxter screams, which is what, like, most of us have done, right? When we were kids. So what else about the PlayStation event am I looking forward to? I'm just looking forward to them talking about the future of PlayStation 5. This is why I really like the fact that they went quiet for a while and they didn't say anything. I know a lot of people don't like that. They don't like the fact that PlayStation was just quiet. They didn't say anything about what was going on. I even heard some people talking about how PlayStation needed to say something because they weren't in the conversation anymore. I don't know what world people live in where PlayStation isn't in the conversation when it comes to console gaming, but clearly they waited and they were working until they could show people what was what they had in store for them. Toolman55, hey Worry, how's it going, man? What's going on? It's early. I am extremely tired. I could not sleep very well last night. I have a cup of coffee and my voice sounds like I just took a shot of test. Other than that, I feel great. talking about the PlayStation event. What do you want to see at the PlayStation event? What's a game from PlayStation's past? Doesn't have to be first party, second party, or third party. It could be anything that you'd love to see them bring back that would make you super excited for this show, apart from everything else that you have to be excited about or hope to be excited about. That's what I'm talking about here while I play the original Jak and Daxter. By the way, when you play this game, you have the option of playing it in 16:9 or 4:3 aspect ratio. So I would play it in 4:3. 16:9 really stretches it out, doesn't look as good. Toolman55 says, I'm really excited for the PlayStation. Yeah, I think everyone is excited. You know what it is? They've earned that excitement. They've earned the right. Like, a lot of people say, you know, why be excited? You don't know what they're going to show. But they've always delivered when it comes to games, especially if they're going to show first-party games. So I think it's okay to be excited. I think that the fact that they've been quiet for a long time, and I was talking about that as well, I think the fact that they've been quiet speaks to the fact that they've been working really hard to get this content ready to show and to get people excited. The only downside about all this is it's so hard to find a PlayStation. So I do feel bad for people. Right here, I love this part. I'm sorry to drop out of that topic really quick, but I love when he just screams.
Let's do it again!
Yeah, I think that they worked really hard to get whatever they have to show at this event ready. And apart from everything that we know, like Gran Turismo is going to look great, right? If you're a racing fan, you're going to like that. God of War, obviously, the first one looked phenomenal, and I'm sure the second one's going to look great. The thing with, again, that's the issue. Their first-party games, like when I saw God of War on the PS4, I literally thought to myself, how is this running on a PlayStation 4? And then you know, Horizon, and then Ghost of Tsushima. So I think that whatever they show that's PS5 specific is going to absolutely blow people away. I really believe that. And I think they have at least one game ready to show, apart from, you know, what everyone's expecting. So Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, I don't know. I would love another Metal Gear Solid game. I think that Metal Gear Solid definitely skews PlayStation, and when you think about that franchise, you definitely think PlayStation. Apart from, you know, the first two Metal Gear games being on the NES, but Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1, I mean, that was just a revolution when that came out. It was unbelievable. And I just can't imagine what I'm going to feel like if they announce Metal Gear Solid for PS5. And imagine, I mean, this is like going way out there. Imagine if they have David Hayter walk out on stage at this event. Can you imagine how insane that would be? People would lose their minds if David Hayter walked out, you know what I mean, and said, I'm back, I'm talking, you know, I got a new job, guys, I'm back, and he does the Snake voice. Oh man, would that be amazing. So, Resistance we talked about, Gran Turismo, God of War, Metal Gear Solid. There's so many games that they can bring back for this event. And that's before we even get, again, I talked about some of the new stuff, but there's not many rumors about new PlayStation 5 games from first party. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? David Hayter walking out on stage at the PlayStation event wearing an eye patch. Man, I'm getting so excited just making shit up to talk about. But, you know, and that's before we even get to, like, you know, Silent Hill. There's a rumor that they were, you know, working with Konami behind the scenes to try and get the rights to that, or try and get some sort of deal in place so that they could get Silent Hill back on PlayStation, or just back in general.
So it ain't gonna help us.
I think that, like I said, I think most people are waiting to see God of War, and we'll probably see more of Horizon Forbidden West. We haven't really seen much of it. Toolman55 says, did you ever play Bushido Blade from 90? Yes, I did. That was that just a straight up fighting game, if I remember correctly? Kind of like a Mortal Kombat-esque fighter, or was it more like a Tenchu stealth action samurai game? I forget what style it was. I don't think they would bring things like that back. I think they're looking for things that have more of a mass appeal, that people would say, I've heard of it. Fans will say, like, I've played it, or casual fans will say, I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. I think you've got to be a pretty hardcore fan to know what Bushido Blade is. Yeah, the sound. I'm using the DualSense controller microphone, so you don't have to set up you don't have to put on a headset, and it isn't as good as a headset, but it's more convenient. And I'm just sort of sitting here on a couch talking about the PlayStation event. I probably should have put a headset on, but this is why people subscribe to me, for this high-end quality content and quality audio. Reaper367, did you see PlayStation new TY? What is it? TYVI? What's a TY? What are you saying there? TYVID? TY video? Are you saying TV ad? Yeah, I'm not sure what you were saying there. PlayStation's new YouTube? Oh, you mean the advertisement for the event? I haven't seen that. I'm trying not to see anything, because I know a lot of people, like for instance, I know somebody tried or said that they had the notes for the entire show and they leaked it online. I'm not interested in any of that. I mean, it's curious that people who are like, Xbox centric are leaking the event or have knowledge of the event. But so I'm just not going to look at anything. Toolman55 says, honestly, a lot of big PS1 games have progressed through the generation. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to take PS1 games, I guess. You'd have to completely change them to make them, work on the PS5. But I don't think it's that big a deal, to be honest with you. I mean, like something like this, Jak and Daxter, it's not hard to update this game. It wouldn't be hard for them to do that and just keep the basic core mechanics in place. I would buy an updated version of this game. I think a lot of PlayStation fans would. Now you look at Resistance, right? Resistance, PS3 game. It's hard to get those games natively backwards compatible on the PS4, the PS5, because of that cell processor, that pain in the ass that is probably why they purchased Gaikai, to get the streaming available. But I would take the Resistance series natively on the PS5. Victor Alstein, I saw a lady. You know what? I have to open up the YouTube app because it's popping up on my screen and then it's just vanishing as soon as I go to read it. So let me see what you just said. Hopefully it's still there. Victor Alstein, I saw a lady on YouTube yesterday that is like 70, 80 and reminds me of your slang old head game. Yeah, I think I subscribe to her. She does like unboxings and talks about games and stuff. I actually did subscribe to her. I think her channel is called, let me look. I actually have it in my list here. Food for Dogs. That's her channel. It is a great channel. Toolman55, this game will be a good one. It looks to be playing really well. Yes, it plays incredibly well on the PlayStation 5. Again, keep the aspect ratio in 4.3 if you're going to download it and play it. I don't think Naughty Dog is interested in doing games like this anymore because, strangely enough, I remember when they said that fun isn't a word they use when they develop games anymore, which is odd. That was right around the time they were talking about The Last of Us 2, but I think Neil Druckmann has sort of cooled off a bit, maybe. So we got Resistance, we talked about Metal Gear, we talked obviously about Gran Turismo. You're either a fan of racing games or you're not. But that is a big name in racing. I think that the Forza series has sort of taken that crown away, especially Forza Horizon 5. I'd be interested to see if Forza Horizon 5, Victor Alstein says, correct, I was quite surprised. I'd be interested to see if Forza Horizon 5 influences Gran Turismo in any way. And they give us a more open world style of Gran Turismo while maintaining the sort of real driving simulator that they're known for. Like, Microsoft separates Forza Motorsport from Forza Horizon. Like, one is a complete simulation and one is open world. Imagine if you had sort of a hybrid of both. That's where I think Gran Turismo could set itself apart and maybe gain back some ground with racing fans. I don't know. What do you think? Silent Hill, obviously, I go crazy for if I saw that. I always liked Silent Hill a lot more than I liked Resident Evil. I just liked the psychological horror as opposed to the jump scares and stuff like that. Victor Alstein says, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. They have an ad that played on the show, so it sounds like it's going to be very big. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. They've been quiet for a while, so I think they're going to show a lot. Toolman55, do you think Blue Point would remake a game like, man, I guess it depends on if Sony thinks that this would sell. I don't know. Do you think there are enough PlayStation gamers out there that would support a new Jak and Daxter or a remake of a Jak and Daxter game like this one? I don't know. I know whatever Blue Point remakes is going to be incredible because everything that they've done has been incredible. There's also a rumor that Sony is going to acquire Blue Point. I think they did, didn't they? Did they not acquire Blue Point already?
Quick! We have to get to the power cell before the Pelican scoops it up again.
I hate this part. Trying to get to that damn power cell before this Pelican gets there. Hopefully I can get there before him. Victor Alstein, I don't have the heart for horror, so I steer clear of the genre. Really? See, I love the psychological horror. I like Resident Evil, but it's more like a Friday the 13th sort of kiddie type horror. I love when you're like freaked out psychologically. That's why I think Silent Hill would be great. But again, they've got to make sure they do it right. And that's the thing. And I'm sure that they will if they announce it. But I want to talk about maybe some new franchises. I'm sure that they're going to try and create something multiplayer-centric, which is where I think Toolman55, I played Tekken 3 so much back in the day. Yeah, Tekken was incredible. Man, I forgot all about Tekken. And I'm not a fighting game fan, but that was incredible. There was a game that came out on what was it, on the original Xbox? It was a fighter. What the hell was it? Reaper 367. Have you ever played Dead by Daylight? You know what? I was just looking at that because the Hellraiser expansion came out, right? And I was watching somebody play it, and they were being chased by Pinhead. And I thought, man, I would love to play this. You know what the problem is with that game? I don't like the forced multiplayer co-op aspect of it. I would love a game like that I could play by myself with a story while I'm being, chased by Jason and Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Pinhead. You know what I mean? Based on whatever level I'm in or whatever world I decided to jump into. But it is probably really fun with a bunch of people. It's funny you ask. I was just looking at that because of that Pinhead expansion. I'm like, oh man, I love Hellraiser. Then they came out with that, and I'm like, wow, I have got to check this game out. But I don't know if it's worth picking up if I'm just going to play it by myself. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like it's a game built up around single player. So, but it does look fun. Victor Alistine, I love sci-fi action, so Corey's rumored game. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about Corey's rumored game. Let's get right back to that. And Somu Samba, any thoughts on Spider-Man 2? Well, here's my thought on Spider-Man 2. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge, and everybody's going to buy it. I mean, really, they can't go wrong. Insomniac may be the best developer in the industry right now. And not in terms of talent, just in terms of talent and their ability to just create non-stop hits. I mean, the amount of work that they've done so far this generation is incredible. So, Spider-Man, the first game, was amazing. Miles Morales was amazing. Spider-Man 2 is going to be incredible. You just know it's going to be great. These are franchises that everyone wants to play. So, I'm pretty sure that whatever they do with it is going to be great. That's another one I didn't even talk about yet. So, I want to talk about that after Victor Alistine said, I love sci-fi action, so Corey's rumored game is something. Yeah, you know, they're working on God of War, obviously. And I think that, much like Insomniac, they can do 2 or 3 different things at once. I'm sure that Cory Barlog's team is able to do at least 2 things at once. I am extremely, extremely excited about that. Whether or not we see anything in terms of that game and what it is, I don't know if we will. I really don't. I don't think they're going to do what Bethesda did with Starfield, just sort of announce it, show like an in-game, trailer of somebody walking around. I don't think that's their style. Much like it took a long time to get to this show and they were really quiet for a while and people were starting to get upset. I think they're going to wait until stuff is ready and then they'll show it. But I definitely think they have enough at this show to get people excited. Wouldn't it be crazy, though, if this show wasn't good? It's sort of like, I think back to Star Wars Episode 1, and everybody was like, it's going to be fantastic, it's going to be great, oh my god, I can't wait. And then, what if it isn't good, What if it isn't good? Nobody thought of that, Nobody really thought of that. And it turns out it wasn't that great. But when you look at what Disney did with Star Wars now, I really wish George Lucas and that original prequel team were back. But I don't think it'll be a bad show. I really don't. Again, what really sucks is that people can't get PlayStation 5s. They can't get any console. But I mean, after this show, it's going to be torturous to not have a PlayStation 5. Corey is not working on God of War Ragnarok. The rumor is he is working on a sci-fi project. Jaffe said he knows the new director. Yeah, I mean, Corey definitely has input on God of War. That's what I mean when they split their team. So he's working on something different. As far as David Jaffe, I kind of stopped watching him a while ago. Maybe he has some insight into what's going on. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Somu Samba says it has to be good. It's yeah. I mean, look. It's hard to talk about stuff like this without people getting strangely emotionally invested. Sony just makes better games. They do. They do have some games that haven't been hits, right? They have made some games that are bad. Not bad, but just haven't been hits. Like, think about The Order 1886. I love that game, but clearly the audience didn't respond to that game. But consistently, they make really good games. Whether or not you want to classify those games as single player only, and they don't make this type of game, they only make that type of game, whatever it is they usually make great games. And that's why I think people are excited about this show, and they have a right to be excited. Reaper367, have you ever heard of the Rift Breaker? It's releasing on PS5 and PS4 on the 23rd of this month. Is that the game? Is that the shooter game that kind of looks like Outlanders? Let me know. And Victor Alistine says he has insights and said there will be at least 2 games that gamers will want. Yeah, I saw that he said something like people are going to be blown away. If you're a traditional PlayStation gamer, you're going to be absolutely blown away, something like that. That's cool.
What you working on?
Look, he definitely knows more than I do in terms of, not knows more, but has more
the precursors left all over the world.
He's more of an insider, actually. Obviously, I'm not an insider, so he can get information that I can't.
And send back to Zoomer. He keep an eye out for a transpad when you explore Misty Island, and wherever else you go.
I'm just trying to listen to this cutscene. I don't know though. I think people have a right to be excited about this one. I really do. I'm sure we'll see Final Fantasy. I'm sure we'll see some timed DLC and stuff like that. Let me tell you about Advent Rising. Advent Rising was one of the best games. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was actually a book series. The writer, I forget his name. The writer of the Advent Rising. Oh man, I can't remember that guy's name. I love that game. I absolutely love it. Talk about cinematic. That would be something that, if I was Xbox, I would jump on, trying to get that. That was a great game. God of War teaser tomorrow. I think absolutely you're going to see a God of War teaser tomorrow. I think the teaser will show a snippet of gameplay. I think people are going to either... Look, there's a segment of people that are going to watch this, and yes, Orson Scott Card of Ender's Game. Ender's Game, was an okay movie. Orson Scott Card, yep. I think people are going to watch that God of War trailer and either, say, hey, it's Christian, no, it's Christian. But I look at these trailers and I think, all right, show me something that looks better on a competing platform. That's what I look for. I don't care if it's cross-gen. If it's cross-gen to me and it looks like this generation, that makes it even more impressive to me. The one thing I'm really excited about, though, is the PS5 only games coming in the future. Show me some graphics that are completely incredible. You know what I mean? Like something that you're going to say is, let me just line up this jump here. You have to roll to make this jump. There we go. Show me something that's amazing, you know what I mean? That I can't see anywhere else. And I'm sold. And that's the thing with it, right? People don't care about how long they wait for good games. They just want to know that those good games are coming. Yeah, I can't wait. I just can't wait for this event. There's so many things that they could bring back. And so many things that they can create. Maybe a Ghost of Tsushima 2 first look. Maybe, again, that Spider-Man 2 trailer. If they show a Spider-Man 2 in-game trailer, a God of War in-game trailer, right? At one show. Think about that. One show, you've got Spider-Man 2, not a bullshit trailer, actual gameplay. God of War, actual gameplay. Then they show a PS5 only title being created for the future. Then they show, exclusive third-party deals like Final Fantasy. Then they show exclusive DLC deals. I mean, that right there. Let's just look at what they're probably going to show, right? Let's say they're probably going to show God of War. They're probably going to show Spider-Man 2. Right there. Is that it? That show in and of itself is going to be fantastic, right? Now let's add in some things like the Resistance collection. Let's say they make a Resistance collection. I'm all over that. I'm all over it. I loved Resistance, and I loved Resistance 2. I thought that game was fantastic, man. When you go to Chicago in Resistance 2, it was just great. I mean, I think this show's going to be really good. Somu Samba, games are going to look insane with every game engine. Let me look. With every game engine... When every game engine catches up to Unreal... Yeah, that's the thing. You know what it is about these third-party engines and Sony? Unreal Engine 5 obviously is going to make a lot of third-party games look great. I think with Sony, their strength is their first-party engines. When you look at Decima, and you look at what that's doing with, games like Until Dawn, starting off on Until Dawn, and then going to... Death Stranding, and then going to Horizon Forbidden West. So they're sharing that technology among not only their first party, but some third party partners. That sets them apart. But I definitely think that this will be the generation where third party engines like Unreal Engine 5 definitely catch up and look great, because I've seen some demos of Unreal Engine 5, and that looks absolutely incredible. Soul Reaver, Victor Alliston, Soul Reaver. Never played it, but isn't Dennis Dyack the man behind the story? I don't think so. I think it was Amy Hennig. Let me look it up. Soul Reaver story written by... I know Amy Hennig had a lot to do at Sony. Let me see. Who wrote the story for Soul Reaver? The director was Amy Hennig. Yeah. Producer, Andrew Bennett, Amy Hennig. I know Amy Hennig had a lot to do with a lot of the great games and great stories that a lot of people remember playing. And then, of course, Naughty Dog decided that she had to go, and Neil Druckmann had to take over for some reason. It's really strange that she hasn't worked. Maybe she just doesn't want to work, but if I was out there looking for great stories and great characters and great worlds and great writing, I would be knocking on Amy Hennig's door. I cannot speak in the morning. I need coffee. Soul Reaver is not going to happen, but if it did, I'm telling you, I would probably scream like a 14-year-old girl. That world, I can't believe that they just let that go. I really can't. The character Kane and the character Raziel, just incredible. The writing, just the gothic. Like, we haven't had a really dark, gothic, horror-esque type game. The only one I can think of that comes close is maybe Vampire, but that wasn't that great, to be honest. Amy Hennig may be difficult to work with. I don't know. Could she be any more difficult than Neil Druckmann? I mean, Lord. And you know what? Most creative people are extremely difficult to be around. But you just have to suck it up to get the end product. If I was Microsoft, I would be knocking on her door. Hey, can you make us something? Can you write us something? Something like that. Let's get back to the Sony show, though. I think too much vampire games killed that series. But there weren't really that many vampire games in the Legacy of Kain series. Or in general, you're talking about third party. And really, the Legacy of Kain games really weren't heavily centric on them being vampires. It was more about betrayal and revenge. So the only other vampire game I can think of really is Vampire, and that came out a few years ago. And we're still waiting on Vampire the Masquerade, right? The action-adventure third-party game. The demo they showed was kind of cool. Where the guy's sitting next to the Christmas tree after he killed the entire family. Was that last E3 I think they showed that? I'm not sure. But there's so many games like Parasite Eve they could bring back. They could bring back Dino Crisis if they can somehow secure the rights to it. There's a ton of content that they can lean on to buy themselves and their studio's time to create those PS5 exclusives. And look, even if those PS5 exclusives may be close to ready to go, they're not going to release them right now because they just can't get systems out there. There was one with the girl like Blood Rain. It was called Blood Rain. Yeah. It's actually you can play that original through backwards compatible. I can't speak. Backwards compatibility on Xbox right now. It's an OG. It was a PlayStation 2, an OG Xbox game. I don't know. I think for me, it's going to be the new stuff that's coming in the future. But again, there's so many things that people are getting hyped about. It's hard for me to take all of it seriously. I just don't want to be disappointed. That's all. I don't think I will be. I really like the fact that they were quiet and they haven't said anything for a while. To me, that means that they're going to show something great. I can't get that damn power. There we go. You know what? I was never a fan of Shenmue. I just wasn't. I just thought it was a terrible game. Yu Suzuki was great at arcade games, like Hang On and things like that, but it was just... By the time that the Dreamcast figured out they needed some really, really deep story-driven games to compete with the PS2, it was over. They had that, and they had a game called Omicron, the Nomad Soul, which had David Bowie in it. That was better than Shenmue, believe it or to me it was better than Shenmue. But those games just got lost because of the poor decisions of Sega leading up to the Dreamcast, and then of course the Dreamcast, its demise once PlayStation 2 hit. I don't even think Shenmue 3 sold well, to be honest with you. It's like people scream about games that they want to come back and they can't wait. Think about The Last Guardian, right? When they announced that and it was coming back, everybody stood up and cheered at E3, but it didn't really sell well. It really didn't. Not to say that it isn't important to bring those games back, but... Whoa! That camera. Alright, let me know what you want. What do you think is going to happen? First off, do you think the show is going to disappoint? Does anybody think this show is going to disappoint? Or does anybody hope this show is going to disappoint? Probably Xbox centric, right? I hope this show sucks. I think it's going to be great. I really do. The more I think about it, the more excited I get. And I love the fact that I'm off and I can actually watch it, which is great. So we got God of War, we've got Spider-Man 2, we've got Horizon, Victor Alstein. I enjoyed Shenmue 2. I think 3 was bad because of poor funding. I don't think the show will disappoint. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, Sony did pick up part of the funding. So, unless they just didn't give them enough money... shit. I don't know. I never really got into Shenmue. I just didn't like the game, the mechanics. Just wasn't something that I liked. So I definitely wouldn't bring back that. I don't know. I know that there were rumblings that if you're a PlayStation fan, they're going to bring back something. There's a game being made that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Now, whether or not that is a brand new franchise or sort of a reimagining of an existing franchise, I don't know. But I do think it might be the latter because I know David Jaffe said that if you're a PlayStation fan, they're working on something that's going to blow your mind. So it would have to be something that you would have already known about if you're a PlayStation fan for it to blow your mind. So maybe it's a remake of a franchise that's gone dormant for a while. I don't know. Coolman 55, are you going to be on Salty Show tomorrow night? I go on shows when people invite me. I'm not a panel member there, and he did invite me. The last show he did, I was on. So if he invited me, I would go, but it's not like I'm just going to say, hey, give me the link, or else. Victor Alstein, I think a lot of Xbox gamers want it to be great. It sparks good competition. Nah, I don't know about that. I don't know. There's some strange people. A lot of strange people. A lot of strange nonsense going on around consoles. I know a couple people in particular who would probably love the show to be bad, that are Xbox centric. Curiously, they have no history with Xbox, little to no gamer score. So, son of a bitch. There we go. Sorry for the language. I have a horrible mouth. Every once in a while, something slips out. I can't help it. Yeah, I think one of two things is going to happen. This show is going to completely demonstrate why they deserve to be in the position that they're in, or people are going to be like, they're out of touch. What was that? They hyped up that. I think what's going to happen, though, is it's going to make it even more painful for people who cannot get a PlayStation 5. Something else I think a lot of people aren't talking about is maybe there'd be a price drop. I know that there's an official price drop in Brazil for PlayStation 5, physical and digital, based on the import tax being dropped by the government in Brazil. They passed that on to the consumers. Now, what if they announce a price drop for the PlayStation 5? They can also announce bundles. They can also announce packing games. Maybe even a special edition console. Microsoft did announce that Halo Infinite Special Edition console. Maybe they do something like that. I don't know. There's a lot beyond just games that they could do. I'm most interested, though, in the games. I'm really interested in what they show. And, I don't know. I'm excited about... It's hard to say you're excited about old games coming back because you want new stuff, right? Reaper 367. Every time PlayStation tweets, there is that one person types Xbox is better. I'm so tempted to type. Well, you know. I'm sure there's that one person that types PlayStation is better too. I mean, look. Objectively, like, I'm not one of these everything subjective people, right? There's good and then there's bad. It's not all moral relativism. There are just better games on PlayStation from their first party. There just are. That could change. I think it will change. And you'll have two platforms with great first party games. It hasn't happened yet. Sony may distance that even more with this show by showing first-party games in the future. If they show PS5 games coming out, say, 2 years from now, and the graphics are ridiculous, right? Like, kind of like what they did with Killzone 2. You remember the original... I'm sorry, it was Killzone 1, right? They showed that trailer, everybody was like, get the hell out of here. That's not going to look like that. That's not going to look like that. And look, it didn't look like that, but it got damn close. That's the kind of stuff that they do very well. So... if they do that, oh shit, did I just kill myself? No. If they do that, then, I mean, people are going to just go crazy trying to get a PlayStation 5. Meanwhile, I want to get all the way over there and get that power cell. How the hell do I get over there? Toolman55 says, one of the guys I work with said that if it was in news, General Motors was shutting down production because of... General Motors was shutting down production because of chip shortage with cars and trucks sitting that are made waiting for chips. I don't know what's going on. Look, I mean, I try and avoid actual news. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm really depressed with the world in general and what's going on, which is why games are so important to me. I'm very fortunate that I was in a position to be able to get a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series S. I realize that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the chip shortage. I have no idea when this is going to stop. I know it's supposed to be, going on until 2023 now. Something tells me, though, that it's going to get a little easier. Victor Alcine, I would love games that are like engine demos. I would love the Infiltrator Unreal Engine. You want a demo as a game? You mean you just want to, like, experience it yourself rather than watch it? Like, play, like, maybe 5 minutes? Something like that? Because there are demos for games, but... I wouldn't want just the demo. I would want the actual game to come out. Alright, PlayStation event. I talked about Toolman 55. I have a Series S2 still looking to get a PS5 for my son and myself. Yeah, I went with a Series S for some reasons. I don't want to get into them because I'm sure people are gonna. I get see them as fanboy reasons, but I think they were pretty good reasons. But we talked about God of War. I think that's definitely going to be shown, and you're going to see gameplay, and the graphics are going to blow your mind. And it's just going to solidify the fact that, yeah, it's a cross-gen title, but where are the competitors this-gen titles that look that good? Victor Alistine, no, like how Gears demo became a game, I would like the Unreal Engine 4 demo to become a game. Oh, okay, so like a proof of concept being turned into a concept. I don't know. Isn't that kind of what happened with Unreal Tournament, the first game? I think the first game actually had a single player as well. Unreal, I think it was just called Unreal. It sort of was a demo for the Unreal Engine, the first one, and they just said, to hell with it, let's make a game. Spider-Man's going to be shown, I think. It's going to blow your mind. We're going to see more of Horizon that we haven't seen yet, and I think that's going to blow your mind. It already blows my mind that Horizon Forbidden West is a cross-gen title. I think we're going to see new PS5 games for the future from new studios. I think we're going to see old PlayStation IPs resurrected. Not too many, but I think we'll see some. I think Resistance is definitely happening. I am going to be all over that as soon as it comes out. What else could we possibly see? I think I covered pretty much everything without looking at spoilers or anything like that. I know there's a list out there that's supposed to be the entire show. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. I don't understand why anybody would, other than, you know, it gets you subscribers on your channel. I hate this part in this game. I remember playing this part when the game first came out. They will show factions. That's something I didn't think about. Last of Us 2 factions. Again, I'm not big on multiplayer. I know people that love factions. I think it would be huge. Again, it would probably be free to play. That would be something that would be huge, right? Make it free to play. So now we have to suck up all of these fishes in order to get the power cell to get the boat working. I hated this when I played this when it originally came out because it was so touchy going left to right.
If you miss 20 pounds of good fish.
Yeah, I think that I definitely think they're going to show factions. I think you're right. And I think that Guerrilla, there's something I haven't talked about. Guerrilla is supposed to be working on a multiplayer title as well. Now, whether or not that's another Killzone, I don't know, but they're rumored to be working on a multiplayer title. I'll read that in a second, because I'm going to suck if I don't get all these fish to progress the story. I don't want those, but I want that guy. I want that big fatty right there. I don't want that. All right, let me get these right here, and then I'll read the SOCOM. I saw that. See, the one word messages I can read while I'm trying to beat this level. SOCOM. Let me tell you about SOCOM, man. Alpha, go to Bravo. You remember using the headset to give voice commands while playing that game, the single player?
Here comes a big one.
That is going to be huge if they can remake that. Oh, man, I'm sucking. Oh, shit! Alright, we gotta do it again. Sorry for the language. SOCOM is going to be absolutely huge if that happens.
Here comes a big one.
But I hope that there's some single player to it. I don't know. See, I'm very, very single player skewed.
Steady boy.
So that's why, obviously, I'm excited about PlayStation's show and PlayStation's content in general. But I really don't think that they need something to hit hard that's multiplayer, because there's just so much from third party that's multiplayer centric that you're not going to beat. Like, you're not going to beat Call of Duty. You're not going to beat Apex Legends. You're not going to beat Fortnite. You're not going to beat Battlefield. Not saying that you can't try and have your own, but I just don't think that it's worth it to try and beat that. Or at least try and just make something that's solely multiplayer, right? Give somebody...
Steady, boy.
I hate this level. Did I tell you I hate this level? Ah, son of a bitch!
Here comes a big one. Hold steady. You did it.
Yes, alright. We're back.
200 pounds of fish. Not bad for a couple of landlubbers.
Toolman55, I like that Ubisoft announcement, free upgrade to all systems for Far Cry 6. You know what? I'm not interested in Far Cry 6. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just don't know what it is about Far Cry 6 that just does not get me excited anymore. I think it's just, those games are just so wide open that the story sort of, it's like Grand Theft Auto. I loved Grand Theft Auto, and then I just fell out of love with it because there was so much to do in the world. It became so large that the focus on the story got lost because you're just running around in this huge open world with a million things to do. And I get that that's why people like that. I just don't like that. And that's why I think I don't like Far Cry. I'm sure it'll be a huge game. Yeah, Far Cry, it feels like rinse and repeat to me. I know that might sound, terrible. I know Grand Theft Auto is hugely popular. Look, Grand Theft Auto 5, they don't have to make another Grand Theft Auto ever again. People are still buying that game. I don't know who's buying that. They may have shipped these games off-world to other worlds and other universes. Maybe that's where the sales are coming from. I don't know. But clearly they just keep adding content to it, which I'm not a fan of, but if you're a third-party developer, I guess it's great. You can keep making money off of one game, and you don't have to work that hard. I think if you're a platform holder like Microsoft or Sony, to create everything with that thought process in mind is a bad idea. I think I have to round up this cattle to get a power cell. All right. I don't know what else I can talk about when it comes to PlayStation event. I really don't. I think I covered everything. So I guess this time, what time is it? I think it's, what is it, Eastern Standard Time? Is it 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something like that? I think. Four Eastern, yeah. Jeff B says 4 Eastern. That's a great time. People are home, or they're getting home from work, or close to getting home. Imagine they announce a PlayStation 5 Mini that makes all the parts easier to obtain and a little bit cheaper, a little bit faster to produce. They already made that heatsink smaller. How about that fiasco? Victor Alistine says, would like to see you on Iron Lords. Yeah, I mean, look, I can't just go on shows. People have to ask me. And then, of course, I have to have, the schedule has to work out. That's a big problem. All right, let me get this guy in here, get the power cell. They have so many IPs that they can lean on. We need a new IP on both sides from Sony and Microsoft, something that is fresh, new. I think for Microsoft, they would say Starfield is that. I don't think that Starfield is as new as they hope it is. It's really a sort of safe Bethesda game, first person or third person role playing, kind of like a Skyrim or a Fallout. and again, this doesn't sound like a fanboyish, but I think you're going to get what you want in terms of new. I think you're going to get that from Sony this generation. I don't think you'll get that so much from Microsoft. I think Microsoft's really set on trying to make money in the niche that they're in, which is games as a service and Game Pass in general. I think if you want great single player content, new worlds and stuff like that you would expect to pay like $60 or $70 for, I think that's going to come from PlayStation. It's just my thoughts. I know it might hurt some people's feelings, but I don't know why it would.
I don't have enough power cells to fuel my heat shield. You can't cross Fire Canyon until you collect enough power cells.
I thought I did. Oh, I gotta go back to the house. That's just my thought. And I base that on what they've done from the PS1 to the PS2 to the PS3 to the PS4, and even early on in this PS5 generation.
Wow! Check out that funky sculpture sitting on the rocks over there.
Something else, they could add some DLC to games that they've released, like Ratchet & Clank and Demon's Souls. Oh, I also heard that there's going to be a remake of Infamous, or a new Infamous game, which would be absolutely incredible. Toolman55, I'm sorry, Jeff B Gaming. I'm not sold on Starfield. We haven't seen it yet, but even it looks good. How much will it push the Western RPG envelope? I've always thought Bethesda was overrated. I love Skyrim. I love Elder Scrolls in general. I loved Oblivion. I loved Skyrim. So I think that when you say push the Western RPG, there's not really anybody pushing the Eastern RPGs either. They're just doing what you would expect an Eastern RPG to be, like Tales of Arise or Final Fantasy or Atelier Ryza. Those games don't really, bust open the envelope when it comes to copy paste what a JRPG is. But I don't know. You know what it is? It's strange, but with Game Pass, these games, they come out and there's not that big launch. You know what I mean? That big event. It's just like, all right, here we are. We're in Game Pass now. So it's strange. It's like a new way of delivering games that sort of takes away from the huge openings and the excitement and the hype. What are your thoughts on Bungie as a developer? I thought that it's obvious at this point that Bungie knows how to do a shooter. 343 doesn't. I think that's pretty clear. I'm not a huge Destiny fan because it's less about story and more about running around with friends and doing cool things. I get that. That's cool. But the Bungie of old, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, those stories and those characters and those worlds were incredible. Some of the best stories in a shooter since Half-Life and Deus Ex, when they used to really care about story in shooters. That's the Bungie that I like. I don't like 343. I don't think they're I don't think they're it for Halo. Yeah, Jeff B, I agree. I just don't think. I think at this point, I mean, obviously Halo Infinite's coming out, so you're going to have to judge that when it comes out. But if it comes out and it's not good, then I think it's time for them to give Halo to somebody else. I don't know who else to give it to. It's funny, we're talking about PlayStation event, we're getting on Xbox. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want Halo to be a good story. I don't want a 6 to 8 hour campaign tacked on to a games as a service. I'm not okay with that. Some people are. If it's that, then I just won't spend my time there. That's all. Hopefully it isn't, but we'll have to wait and see. I think we covered everything for the PlayStation event, right? I mean, we talked about pretty much everything that can happen. Victor Alistine, have you played Titanfall? Yeah, I played the first Titanfall. I'm sorry, the second for the story was better. Yeah, there you go. Titanfall 2 had the good story. But again, you know, people just didn't respond to it the way they respond to the Sony games with stories. I don't know why, but yeah, that story was excellent. You can actually play that now on PS5 and Xbox as well. I think they updated it for the new systems. Jeff B., what do you think of the supposed leaks event scheduled? Any of those leaks I didn't look at. I don't think that... I can't say that they're not accurate, but most leaks have a few things that are accurate and a few things that aren't. I don't want to see any leaks because I think the motivation of the people leaking this information is really disingenuous and disgusting. Console war driven. Toolman55, I would like to see what the new studio Deviation Games is making. There's something else, right? Maybe their new studio will reveal what they're working on. There is another rumor, too, that they are creating a new Japan-only studio that's first party. So that's something else that we didn't talk about, but there's so much content that they could show at the show. But the thing is, it's only 40 minutes. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of that sort of, the fluff, like a new studio. We acquired this studio. I don't think we're going to get that. I know there was a rumor that they're spending 2 minutes on a brand new controller, like a new color PlayStation 5 controller. I don't know why they would spend 2 minutes on that, but that's something that I think is an indication that some of these leaks and some of these lists aren't accurate. Jeff B. agreed, worry. I don't trust insiders. It's really educated guesses with a few contacts. Yeah, that's the thing. Most of it is driven by, hey, come to my channel, subscribe, stuff like that. I'm not really into that stuff. I'd rather know something's a fact before I really get excited about it and talk about it. Yes, I saw the gameplay of Black Myth Wukong. Looks incredible, right? But again, here's my problem. It looks like a game copying the Souls, gameplay. Man, excuse me. And games that are just overly difficult, over and over and over again, rinse and repeat, die, do it again. I'm just not into those games. It's probably because I'm old. I don't have a lot of time to just die repeatedly and spend, 80 hours like Returnal. I have Returnal. I think Returnal's brilliant. I think it's beautiful. I can't fucking beat it. It drives me crazy. Jeff B., what do you think of Project Magnum? Is that the game that looks like Outriders? It's the co-op looter shooter, Project Magnum. I think that's what you're talking about. If that's it, I think it looks great. Is it going to do anything that we haven't seen before or you haven't done before? See, a lot of people say that single-player games are one and done, but how many times can you play the same type of game with friends online? Yeah, see what I mean? It's a co-op Chinese looter shooter. Like, how many times can you play a looter shooter with friends online and not feel like, hey, I've done this a million times before? So I think there's crossover with being bored of doing the same thing over and over again with multiplayer looter shooters, just like there is with single-player narrative-driven games. I'd rather have a game like this. I'd rather have a story-driven platformer in an open world, or a story-driven game in an open world that I can go back into and collect things when I'm done. New Game Plus mode, I think, is great for single-player games. I'll be honest with you, Ghost of Tsushima, the multiplayer, is phenomenal. It is so much fun. I played my first match a few nights ago, and wow, a lot of fun. And you don't feel like an idiot when you're not getting a lot of kills or anything like that, which is nice. Victor Alistine, did you see the Doki V trailer at Gamescom? I did not. I don't even know what Doki 5, I'm assuming, or V? V is a Roman numeral, or is it just V? Jeff B. Gaming, depends on the gameplay loop. Depends if the gameplay loop is done. So I'm assuming you're saying depend if the gameplay loop is done well. Man, I cannot speak. Yes, it does, but I mean, even if the gameplay loop is done well, and you play a game like Outriders, and then you play a game like Project Magnum, and then you play a game like, and the gameplay loop is great, you're still doing the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know. I don't know how old a lot of you guys are, but like nothing is new for me. Maybe that's the problem. Like when this came out, this was new. There were 3D platformers and nobody could touch Mario. And then Naughty Dog decided we're going to make an open world platformer with a story, with no load times, day and night cycles. I mean, it was brand new. I was blown away when this came out, right? But since this, there's no way to impress people anymore with a platformer. Doki V is a game with kids, looks somewhat like... Oh, that is the one with the crazy, insane, kind of realistic-looking graphics with the kid riding the bicycle, flying through the air. That looked amazing to me. It really did. That looked incredible. 46 and 41. Yeah, I'm older than you guys, but we're close, so good. You know what I mean when I say, like, nothing's new, right? You've played everything. That's why it's kind of like, all right, single player, I think excites me more because I haven't played a new story. I haven't experienced a new world with a new character. I have experienced action-adventure gameplay. I have experienced co-op. I have experienced multiplayer. I have experienced shooting things. And all of those things are in single-player games, but what isn't is really good character stories and worlds. I think that's why I skew more towards those. And why I think a lot of people tend to skew more towards PlayStation when it comes to that stuff. And then go for the third-party multiplayer games on the PlayStations. Man, this went from a PlayStation event to a general gaming discussion. It's pretty cool because I don't have enough subscribers to podcast. YouTube won't let me go live unless I think you have 1,000 subscribers. So I decided, why not just play a game, stream it, and talk about stuff? Maybe people would come in, and I could do it that way. I don't think I'll get to 1,000 subscribers until probably, maybe, 2023. I'm actually forgetting what I'm supposed to do here. I cleared out these guys. Oh, I can go back to that guy and get the power cell, yes. The old man asked me to clear out that. Does everyone here have a PlayStation 5? Jeff B, I was on YouTube, then I was off YouTube, then I was on and off YouTube probably about 4 times now. And I'm back now for good. So it's not like a job. I have an actual job. I don't really see YouTube as a job. I know there are people who make millions of dollars, but they're the exception, not the rule. And I'm doing it just for fun. So hopefully, maybe in time, I can get a little bit bigger. You got a PS5 on launch day, Jedi Johnny. Wow. I've never not gotten a PlayStation on launch day except for this one. And it was my own fault because I just didn't sit and try and refresh that button. I used to love the days where you can go to like GameStop and put all your money down. Like I paid off my PlayStation 2 before it even released. And then I just went there and picked it up. I miss those days. Jeff B got a PlayStation 5 February. Yeah, I got mine literally, I want to say 2 months ago. Yeah. And it wasn't easy. No, it wasn't. It was very difficult. And I went with the all-digital version because, again, I used to collect, but at some point you're like, how many discs can I have on a shelf? Got it from a scalper for $5.50. Picked it up that day. That's actually not bad. $50 more. You got the physical one, right? If it was digital, that's still a good price. It's only $150 more. I mean, people were paying thousands of dollars, which is insane. Again, that plays into Jay's Wade. I have my PlayStation 5 on an invite. I don't know what that means. You got your PlayStation 5 on an invite only? Jeff B Gaming Disc Edition. Yeah, that's not bad, man. That's only $50 more. Wow. I haven't heard anybody getting that sweet of a deal for a PS5. What did he just ask me to do? I wasn't paying attention. Let's just go there. Yeah, that's awesome. Where are you looking forward to seeing the PlayStation Showcase? Jedi Johnny 5. Yeah, we've been talking about that here. What are you looking forward to seeing? What new... Well, obviously you don't know any new PlayStation franchises, but what are some old franchises that you would like to see come back? Besides, besides Metal Gear and Silent Hill, but I think people have talked about those two games to death. I was saying I would love to see Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain series come back. One game, any game, Blood Omen 2, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2. Any one of those. Bloody Roar. A lot of fighting game fans in here. You think a fighting game would really drive hype and excitement for PlayStation? I don't know. Again, it's like third party really takes care of that, right? Like Mortal Kombat. I'm not a big fighting game fan. Man, I would love to see the old Sega with... Yeah, I mean, look. Sega's done. Sega's not coming back. But I would love to see some of their IPs remade. Yeah, I made a video. Jeff B says, I had a PlayStation 5 on eBay for $800 with extra controller and Spider-Man Miles Morales 1 on eBay, but the seller pulled out last minute. He pulled out? Why? The seller pulled out last minute. You're glad he did? You're glad that... Oh, yeah, okay. So you got it. Victor Allison says, no. What does that mean? Maybe a new getaway. Max Payne. Man, Max Payne 3. Let me tell you. I gotta clear my throat. Let me clear my throat. I'm sorry. Alright. Max Payne 3 was one of the most underrated games. I don't want to say ever because that's a cliche, but man, was it underrated. Jeff B got the better deal. Yeah, cool, man. Glad you got it. Max Payne, that was Remedy. Man, the first Max Payne, I remember seeing it, and everybody talked about it back in the day, how great it looked on PC, right? Oh my God, the face model was incredible. So for me, I was a console gamer. Dudes, I cannot speak. If you hear me like popping and stuttering, I'm sorry. I'm having huge issues this morning. I remember when Max Payne came to the PS2. I'm a console gamer, so, to me, that was it. It was like, wow, look at this game. And you can actually still play that now through backwards compatibility on PlayStation 4 and 5. Sega will live again. I'm declaring it, so it shall be. Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of people would love that. I just don't think it's going to happen. Can you imagine if Sega released a new console? Jeez. I just don't think it's possible anymore with PlayStation and Nintendo and Xbox sort of eating up the market. There's only around 400 to 450 million every generation console gamers that buy consoles. So you really have to fight for that 400 to 450 million consumer base. I don't know if 4 consoles in the market would do that. Oh, shit! All right. Max Payne on the PS5. Yeah, I have it. I downloaded it. I'm going to do that. The next one of these that I do, I like playing the old games. So the next one of these that I do, I'm going to play Max Payne. It's great, isn't it? It's just so good. Jeff B, I'm excited for Alex Payne. You mean Alan Wake? Alex Payne? I think you mean Alan Wake, right? The Xbox 360 game from Remedy, which was an incredible, incredible game. I think it's one of the best games Microsoft published on the 360. It was a Stephen King meets a Twin Peaks type of game. It's definitely coming to the PlayStation 5. Hopefully, yeah, I have them all the time. Hopefully they take advantage of some DualSense features, because that game would be phenomenal with the DualSense implementation. If they do, I'm going to get it on the PlayStation 5. You know what? This whole time, I forgot I could have just went on the boat to the other island. Yeah, because we got all the fish. I was busy talking. It's an ocean, Jules. Oh, you mean the end of Max Payne, where he says it's not just a lake, it's an ocean. I mean the end of Alan Wake, right? It's not just a lake, it's an ocean. Yeah, I think that's what you mean. I remember that. That's such a great game. I liked American Nightmare, too. I wonder if they're going to have the DLC. Isn't it? Yeah, Victor Alistine, it's horror. It's, yeah, it's horror, so you're not gonna like it. Yep, not just a lake, it's an ocean. Yeah, there's no word on American Nightmare, the DLC, being in the collection. I would imagine it would have to be. Why wouldn't it be? That would be so cool. I love how we started talking about PlayStation and we're like going crazy with just general gaming news. So much for staying on topic. Jeff B, have you seen the final Death Stranding direction? I did. I saw it this morning. I think it came out this morning. I love Death Stranding. I didn't finish it. I didn't beat it. I got really far into it. I love it because it's different. The story is so batshit crazy that you know, you can't say, "Hey, I'm bored. Everything's the same. All the games I'm playing." I loved it. And again, graphics. How did they get that running on a PlayStation 4? Which is why it's going to be great on PlayStation 5. Ninja Gaiden was a big Xbox exclusive back in the day. What was it? Itagaki, right? Yeah. Tobanobu Itagaki, I think his name was. I would be cool with that. Again, I remember Ninja Gaiden being like super fucking difficult. Again, pardon the language, but... And I don't know what it is, man. I hate games that are just overly difficult. I just don't... Maybe it's just, again, I'm old. I don't have that kind of time, or I don't think my skills are bad as I get killed by this guy and fall off a fucking cliff. Yeah, Tobanobu Itagaki. 8K cut of Death Stranding on YouTube. 8K, man, I don't know. You must have the eyes of a bald eagle. Human beings cannot see 4K, let alone 8K. But it's going to get you to buy a brand new TV, isn't it? Marketing, baby. I'm just kidding, man. If you like 8K, go for it. I'm actually pissed off that I can't beat this. There you go. Yeah, I'm just super excited about the show, man. Super, super excited. Victor Alistine says he loved Ninja Gaiden, just never tried the hard difficulty. Yeah, I mean, see, that's another thing I could talk about that's not PlayStation related. This idea that difficulty levels, and if you give choices, you're somehow, you know, hurting the developer's vision or something like that. I have Control, the edition that's available for all the systems, PS5 and Xbox, the one that's the special one. And it comes with an assist mode, right? So you can turn on assist mode. You can make your character in invincible. You can have infinite ammo. You can do all of that. And in the settings, the developer says this is not the way the game was meant to be played, but you can play it anyway. It doesn't take away from the game. And if you want the developer's vision, just don't activate it. So I don't buy into the whole, if Demon's Souls had a casual mode, it would kill the developer's vision. Just don't play it on that mode. I think people are just pissed off that some people might get achievements and trophies and they won't feel special anymore, which is really weird. But probably because we're all extremely old, I think it's really weird. Oh man, I hate this. Son of a bitch! Let's lure them over here. Alright, just give me a second, guys. I can't really look at the comments while I'm trying to kill. The trick is to have them throw the bomb and then lure them towards the bomb until it explodes. There you go. How about Cuphead? Those devs could work on some Disney. I wasn't a big fan of Cuphead. I thought it looked great, I don't know. I just... Again, after dying like 9,000 times, I'm like, alright, come on, guys. Can you give me a break? I'd love to experience worlds like Dark Souls and Demon's Souls. I love the look of the worlds and the gothic overtones, and I want to hear the story. I want to appreciate the music, but I can't die 9 billion times. Again, maybe that makes me, I don't know. I don't really care about whether or not I look great getting a platinum or anything like that. I just don't care about that stuff. Two guys left me. Come on, throw some... Son of a hump. Can I get some, can I get a bomb over here, please? I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to die. Come on, man. Yes, alright. Yeah, let me look. Look at the comments. I remember how hard, Jeff B., I remember how hard some of those new games were. I laugh when people say games are too... Yeah, exactly. Like, when I was a kid, man, we didn't have save files for some of these games. You had to start them and finish them. So, it's not like I didn't do that. I just...
Keep you out of the use, okay?
I don't know, man. Maybe... I think that, I think Demon's Souls is hard. You don't think that the game's hard? I find Returnal to be really frustrating. Not that it's hard, per se, but the fact that, I make a mistake, I die, and then I start entirely at the beginning again with nothing. With no save file. It just seems odd to me, right? I don't know. Camera angle here is terrible. Remember having to keep your console on for days? Exactly, right? I remember leaving it on. My mother having a heart attack. Why is this thing running? Why is this thing running? You don't understand. Yeah, it's crazy. know Xbox is going to the Tokyo Game Show. I have, I don't know why, but I'm really not excited about that at all. I just want Xbox to come out with a game. You know what I want? I want somebody at Xbox to say, yep, you've seen Horizon, you've seen Ghost of Tsushima. We're going to take a shit all over those games with this brand new IP, and then show something that is absolutely phenomenal. That's what I want. Jeff B, Dark Souls games are hard, but if you are good with pattern recognition, yeah, that's the thing, right? You have to just die repeatedly and pay attention to when the enemy's going to strike, when he's going to counter, when he's going to dodge. I get it. I just don't have that kind of time. And I'd much rather be engaged in a story than, have to study patterns. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I tried Bloodborne and I'm like, I want to kill myself. Let's get back to the PlayStation event. Let me know what would make this show not great for you personally. What would happen? Something happened at this show that would make it a failure in your mind, or something not happening, not being shown. What has to be shown, in your opinion, for the show to be a success? So that's the topic. What has to be shown for the show to be a success? Victor Alistine, there was rumor that Sony was in talks to acquire Guilty Gear devs. I would like to see those Guilty Gear graphics in an action-adventure game. Yes. Like a... how do I describe those graphics? Like a cel-shaded-esque type of Saturday morning 80s cartoon in an action-adventure. I would love to see that. There was an RPG that came close to using those graphics. I forget what it was called. I don't know if it was Vagrant Story or maybe not. Maybe it wasn't Vagrant Story. There was one. Oh, I think it was Dark Cloud 2 on the PlayStation 2. Dark Cloud 2, I think, had a graphic style like that. Jedi Johnny, I'm telling you, man, I do not feel Deathloop. I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling Deathloop at all. Again, probably because there's less about story and presence in a world and more about just, loop. I don't want to do that. But I could be wrong. But they're probably going to show that again. They're probably going to show, what's the other one? Tokyo, what's the other one called? Two Bethesda games, right? Two Microsoft acquired studio games. Deathloop and Tokyo something. Ghostwire Tokyo, that's it. Ghostwire Tokyo. They're probably going to show those two as well. Those two as well. Jeff B. Gaming, new games and new IPs have to be shown. I don't want to see Kena. See, I want to see Kena. I'm really interested in Kena. But I think that they could show that and still have a successful show if they do exactly what you said in the first part. Show new IPs. Yes, that's a definite. Jedi Johnny says, same, it looks whack to me. I have never used the word whack in a sentence before. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Toolman55 says, I think God of War, God of War is going to be there, obviously. Ghostwire, yeah. But if they show Kena and then new IPs, obviously. So obviously new IPs have to be there. I think at least one will be there. Jedi Johnny says, I hope not. You hope not about Kena? Okay. I'm going to get that as soon as it comes out. Even though it's not, traditional AAA.
The bombardment is getting worse. Find the fisherman in the jungle. Get permission to use his boat. And get over to Misty Island to stop the cannon. And you, Dexter, you need to get mopping.
Jeff B says, don't show any of the indies. I just want to see in-house Sony and AAA second party. I think you're going to see in-house Sony AAA. I think you're going to see in-house Sony AA. And I think you're going to see third-party AAA and AA as well. I think that they're going to show... I want to say that they're going to show some indies, but again, maybe not because of that time frame for the show. 40 minutes is not that long for big reveals like God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon, stuff like that. So maybe you won't. Victor Alistine says, I don't want to see them waste time on games they have already shown. That Capcom game would be nice, though. Jedi Johnny 5. No, I want Kena. I was no to Ghostwire. Kena looks... Yeah, as far as showing things that they've already shown, I think that's going to happen. I think they all do that. As far as Kena, yes, that looks really good. Ghostwire is more story-driven, so I'm curious to see what that's all about. I'm not really interested in Deathloop right now. I'll have to see more of Ghostwire. Pragmata, I think, is the Capcom one with the astronaut and the cat, right? That demo where the cat is flying through the air with the astronaut. That looks pretty good. That looks like Capcom and Kojima had a baby. It's such a weird concept, right? Like, here's a cat, here's an astronaut, and no gravity. Okay. The DLC is going to be a paperclip and peanut butter. Okay. But that looks good. There's a lot we're going to see. And the big thing is their first party is probably ready to show some stuff, which is what I'm excited about. I got to find this fisherman again. Go back to that island and do something over there. Street Fighter 6, and it's exclusive again. Abandoned. Come on, not abandoned. Oh my god. What's going to happen is that guy is going to show up in a sweater and say, I am not a scammer. By the way, the game is not called Abandoned. It is called 401k Donate to my retirement fund. I don't know anything about Abandoned. If it is, it's the worst marketing idea ever. If they come out and say, hey, it was all marketing for Silent Hill, and here's Silent Hill. Okay. I'm just interested in Silent Hill. At this point, the whole Abandoned thing is so weird. So strange to me. Possibly show Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I mean, Street Fighter... Again, a lot of fighting game fans with PlayStation, it seems. Did Street Fighter do really well for PlayStation 4 when it was exclusive?
I see the sculptor's news.
I hated catching this thing, man. This is a pain in the ass. Jedi Johnny, I really think it's going to be a lot of first-party heavy hitters and then some exclusive third-party deals for some big games. I think that you probably are correct. I think if you are correct, it's going to be an amazing show. And I don't know why I think that's correct, but... Victor Alistine, it would be a surprise if Rise 2 is shown exclusive, giving a glimpse of next-gen CryEngine. I don't think CryEngine is something that anybody's using anymore. I think Microsoft actually owns that, so maybe they would do something with it, or at least use the engine. I think they're more interested in using id Tech, but I think CryEngine at the time was one of the best engines. It definitely helped Rise look great. I mean, the game still looks good. See, that's the thing with Microsoft. They had an IP there that was really good. They just needed to cultivate it, work a little bit on it, and they just stop. They give up because it isn't something that they could sort of monetize long term in terms of games as a service. And it's a shame, because I think that would have been a great IP for them to have and to expand. I mean, hell, you could add they had multiplayer in the original Rise. I hate chasing this cat. It's such a pain in the ass to catch this thing. I'm probably not going to do it during the stream. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. To be honest with you, it's been... How long have I been streaming? How do I even tell? That's how sad I am. Let me go to my channel. I have no idea. Right? Yeah, Rise belongs to Crytek. They refused to sell it to Xbox. Oh, I thought they... Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's a shame. It was a great IP. I think it was a great story. It was a cool world. It would have been nice to get something new, but I don't know. You know, we're going to have to probably wait. I think Microsoft told us everything they're working on. Now it's Sony's turn. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not interested in fanboy shit. I'm just more excited about PlayStation's show. I'm more excited about the content that they're going to create this generation. I know I'd like to be surprised by Microsoft. Anybody who believed that Microsoft is buying Take-Two is probably just looking to get more subscribers to their channel. Something like that. Jedi Johnny. I also think we might... Let me see. I also think we might get a Sunset... There's another Microsoft game, right? By Insomniac. That was incredible. Probably the best game on the Xbox One. Unbelievable. And now they don't own the rights to it. And for some reason it didn't get the support it deserved. It's a great game. I would love it if that game came out. Imagine if at the show they say, oh, by the way, at the end of this show, go to the PlayStation Store. You can download Sunset Overdrive right now. Something like that, like a bombshell like that. Even though it's an old game, if they did something like that, just to generate hype and excitement, it would be huge, huge game to play. I loved Sunset Overdrive. Absolutely, positively loved it. Finished it, played the DLC. I think it was Mule Island or something like that, or something. I forget what it was called. It was like an oil refinery that you went to. Excuse me. That would be great. Alright, so everyone's excited about the PlayStation show. Seems like everybody wants new IP with a mix of some old PlayStation IPs coming back. Second, third-party deals. Final Fantasy is probably going to be there. That's going to be exclusive. The new one. We're only a day away. So, my next stream will be the reaction to that, and maybe your reaction as well. Whether you liked it, whether you hated it, whether you're excited now. And I think I will leave it at that. Any more questions before I end this stream? Because I'm definitely not going to catch this friggin' cat. I know that. I hated this part when I played this game. Jeff B., all the games that were single-player action-adventure focused on Xbox One gen didn't really do well, like Quantum Break, which was a great game, and Sunset Overdrive. Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive. Quantum Break I loved. I loved Quantum Break. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe the audience... Look. I don't know. Maybe the audience just isn't receptive to those types of games. I mean, everybody talks about getting them, and then when they come out, there's no support for them. I'm going to die here. Maybe not. I can stay out of the water. Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Can you imagine a Quantum Break remake, remaster for PlayStation 5, or just make the game available along with Sunset Overdrive? Holy shit, the internet would break. Toolman55, have a great day, everyone. Enjoyed the stream and talking together. Thank you for coming to the stream. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, so it's hard to get people to come and participate, but I really appreciate it. I really do. It's nice getting some different perspective and having somebody to talk to other than myself, so I appreciate it. Maybe I'll see you the next time. So PlayStation 5 event is a day away. New IP, old IP, third-party deals, existing games. Well said, people ask but never support. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Listen, I was day one for Quantum Break. I was day one for Sunset Overdrive. I thought it was phenomenal. Xbox had the better games at launch than PlayStation 4. They did. They just did not build on the momentum. They stopped. Oh, I just made that. So we'll have to wait and see the aftermath of this show. I think it's going to be a big show for PlayStation. I think it's going to cement the PlayStation 5 as something that a lot of people want. And it's just going to be exciting. It's still exciting as somebody who's old to watch stuff like this, because you're reminded of why you play games and how exciting they are. And I'm going to die again. No, I didn't. Cool. Let me look. Jeff B. Gaming, so you think Sony will announce any acquisition? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they need to acquire anybody, to be honest. Do you think they need to acquire anybody based on what they have now? I think if they sell a lot of PlayStation 5s, which they already have, and they, Jedi Johnny, you are the man where you keep up. Thank you, I appreciate that. I am a man, not the man, but I am a man. I think if they continue to sell PlayStation 5s at a record rate, and they continue to make great first-party content that pushes consoles out, third parties will want to be on PlayStation in the console space. Especially when those third parties can also lean on the PC space. And it does not affect the console space. I know people like to say games aren't exclusive anymore if they're on PC, but a PlayStation third-party game that's exclusive on a PlayStation 5 that also goes to PC really helps the console, and really helps the developer keep it exclusive because they can lean on PC as well. So I don't know. That's why it's important to sell a lot of consoles, and I think they've done that so far. After this show, the demand may go even higher. I don't know if the supply is going to meet it. It probably won't. But, all right, I'm going to probably wind it down now. This was fun. I didn't expect anybody to actually show up. And I think at one point I had 9 people in here, which sounds, terrible compared to other people. But I appreciate it. Victor Alistine, all right, great stream. Hopefully see you on the next one. Yep, I will do a reaction with probably the original Max Payne being played. So that should be cool. Appreciate everybody coming in here, asking questions, talking about the PlayStation event. I hope that you enjoy watching it. I hope that you see something that you want, that gets you excited. And I will see you guys in the next stream.